Hello, everyone. I wanted to go over and review the answers to the Chapter 10, Section 3, the Late Republic assessment questions. So this is your homework that is due by Friday, May 22nd, and today is Monday, May 18th. So the first question says 1A, define what was a Roman legion. So when I see the word define, I know that I can go back into the text, find the highlighted word, and the definition is going to follow it. So I'm going to go all the way back to the beginning, and I'm looking for the word legion. So what was the question was, I look in my other book, what was a Roman legion? And the answer is a group of 6,000 soldiers. So 1A, a group of 6,000 soldiers. Question 1B says to explain, why did the Romans decide to conquer all of Italy? So to explain something means that I need to take the section and put it in my own words. And so if I look at under the growth of the territory, it's going to explain why Rome decided to expand, and it's because their neighbors kept attacking them. So other groups continually attacked Rome, and out of defense, Rome fought back. They won, and when they won, they took over the land. So why did the Romans decide to conquer all of Italy? It was because other groups kept attacking them first. Question 1C, elaborate. How did the growth of territory help increase Roman trade? So how did the, let's try that again. How did the growth of the territory help increase Roman trade? So if I look here under farming and trade, my answer is right in this paragraph. And the answer is because Rome kept expanding so much, it had too many people, and the local farmers couldn't grow enough food to feed the population of Rome. And because they couldn't feed the population of Rome, they had to trade. So they had to expand their trade routes so they could get enough food. Then they also traded back metal and slaves as well. So the real reason why for 1C, how did the growth of the territory help increase Roman trade? It's because the local farmers couldn't grow enough food to support the city of Rome. So the merchants brought back food from elsewhere along with metals and slaves. Question 2 is about the Punic War. So question 2 is all about the Punic War. And so my answers are going to be in the section about the Punic War. So the first one is recall who fought the Punic Wars. And recall means that the answer is right in the text. I just have to go back and look. So I'm going to go back to the beginning of where it talks about the Punic Wars. And so here it says Rome and Carthage went to war 3 times. So who were the people fighting in the Punic Wars? The answer to question 2A is Rome and Carthage. Question 2B, summarize what led to the beginning of the Punic Wars. So if I keep reading, it's going to be in this paragraph right here. And the reason why the Punic War started is because Carthage sent an army to Sicily. So 2A is who fought in the Punic Wars, and the answer is Rome and Carthage. And question 2B, summarize what led to the beginning of the Punic Wars. The Punic Wars started because Carthage sent its army to Sicily and Rome defended its territory. Question 2C, elaborate. Why do you think the Romans borrowed this from Greek culture? So if we continue on to later expanses, the answer is in this paragraph right here. Now it says to elaborate, which means that I have to add in some of my own ideas. The answer is not just in this paragraph. So normally we expect conquered lands to insist their new areas take on all of their ideas. However, Rome got super weird when it conquered Greece and was like, oh my gosh, I love you guys so much. I want to do all your things. So a possible answer is that they just thought everything the Greeks did was super cool and way cooler than what they were doing. And so they copied them. And they're like, oh my gosh, we love your gods. We're just going to change their names. Oh my gosh, we love your architecture. We're going to totally borrow it. Oh my gosh, you have the coolest inventions. We're totally going to use them. You do this thing with medicine where you use plants. We're going to do that too. So one possible answer is that they just thought Rome was amazing. They admired the Greek culture so much that they wanted it for themselves. All right, so that's question 2. So we'll go back to the questions. Question 3A, identify who is Spartacus. Identify is like recall or define. That means the answer is straight in the book. So if I go to the area about Spartacus, it tells me that he was a former gladiator and he rose up and demanded freedom. So he was a gladiator who started a rebellion. Question 2B, the rebellion that Spartacus started was a slave uprising. So he led all the other slaves to try to gain their freedom. So then that was, I'm sorry, 3A is who was Spartacus. 3B, how did the deaths of the Gracchus brothers change Rome politics? I have to go back a little bit in the reading to where it says Tiberius and Gracchus. So what changed? It's in the last paragraph. The violent deaths of the Gracchus brothers changed Roman politics. From that time on, people saw violence as a political weapon. So how did the deaths of these two brothers change politics? It means that now violence was a political tool. So that is the answer to 3B. Then we have summarizing. Draw a diagram like the one here. I drew one for you. You have to double click into the drawing in order to write into the text boxes. And it says use your notes to on the crises Rome faced. List 3 crises or 4 crises during the later period of the Republic, then list 2 facts about each crisis. So we could go all the way back to the beginning. And we could say the first crisis was the growth of the territory. So the crisis was that Rome's neighbors were attacking them. And some facts were Rome won. And 2, they continued to win, but because they won, they needed to expand their trade routes so that they had enough food to feed their population of Rome. Another conflict or crisis that affected Rome was the Punic Wars. 2 facts about the Punic Wars is there were 3 of them. The first 2 Carthage attacked Rome and Rome won. The third one and the third time that ended the Punic Wars is that Rome attacked Carthage when Carthage started to become powerful again, and Rome won that war as well. So there were 3 Punic Wars. Carthage started the first 2, Rome started the last one, and then that finished the Punic Wars. Another crisis that the Republic faced was the fact that there was a big divide between rich and poor. So there's this problem that rich citizens were getting richer, and they were afraid that violence was going to erupt and that poor people were going to overthrow and start a new government and maybe replace the Republic with something else. So you have the conflict of the farming with Tiberius and Gracchus trying to take rich land or land from rich landowners that was public and give it to the poor people. Another crisis that happened because of that was that more violence was now in politics. So that would be the second fact about the Gracchus brothers. Marcellus and Sulla started a civil war. So that's a big problem. Like a civil war, you have one part of Rome fighting another part of Rome. Another fact about that is now that politicians were starting to raise independent armies, and those independent armies were more loyal to their generals or to their politicians than they were to the country of Rome. So that's a problem. And then the second problem as well is the fact that, the first fact is that it was a civil war, and the second fact is that now government officials are raising their own armies. So that's a problem there. And then we have people don't like being slaves. And so Spartacus raising a revolt against ownership or being owned. So starting a rebellion, that was another conflict and another crisis that faced the Republic as well. Spartacus was the leader. That's one fact. The second fact is that it didn't work. And in the end, Rome executed 6,000 of the rebels to make a point and say, don't do this again. But that angered a lot of people. So those are some of the different crises that happened that Rome was facing near the end of the Republic. We'll start next week with chapter 11, which talks about what comes after the Republic. So there's a couple more crises that the Republic is going to have to deal with. If you have any questions, give me a call or email me or send me a message of somehow. Let me know what you need help with, but hopefully you were able to find where the different answers were in the textbook, and this will help you with the Section 3 assessment questions. Have a great day.